Hey guys, Cinema Sickness here with this week's Weekly Watch, where we take a look at all the titles I watched throughout the week, and I briefly talk about them. So, not as many titles as usual this week. It will be a pretty quick update, but let's get right down to it and take a look at everything I checked out. So the first title I watched this week was Amelia. And you're going to see a very common theme with all the titles I watched this week, where everything was just mediocre. And that is a great way to describe this film. Very, very mediocre. I'm not going to use the pun because I was reading people's reviews on this, and many people use the pun. The movie failed to take off. Get it? Amelia Earhart failed to take off. Haha. Very overused pun. But a pun that does make sense, because that is exactly how this film was. It just really didn't amount to anything at any point. It was just very flat, just kind of dragged on, never really built up. I'd say the only really exciting part about this movie was the last maybe like 15 minutes where Amelia's flying across the Pacific Ocean and gets lost, and they don't know what happened to her. That's the only kind of exciting part about the movie is, because you know what's happening. You know she's gonna vanish. You know something's wrong. She's low on fuel. She's gonna crash or whatever you think might happen to Amelia. I mean, we don't know. It's a mystery, and that's really the only exciting parts of this film. Other than that, rather boring. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a bad film. It's not like I hated the movie. I'm not saying it's a god-awful movie. Don't see it. But like I said, it just didn't really amount to anything. It just didn't really go anywhere. It just kind of stayed flat the whole way through. Nothing really built up. You didn't really get invested in the characters. You weren't excited. It was just, the story was just kind of bland. So would I recommend it? I'd say if it's a movie you've been thinking about checking out, or maybe it's something you really want to see, sure, see it. It's worth a watch. But if it doesn't look like your kind of movie, there's no need to check it out. Then I watched Furry Vengeance. Now, this was not mediocre. This was actually god-awful, which is pretty much exactly what I was expecting this film to be. I was not expecting very much from this film. But the reason why I picked it up is A, because I got it for only $2, and also because it stars Brendan Fraser, who I have this weird, as I said before, love-hate relationship for. I think he is one of the worst actors in the world. He cannot act worth a damn. Yet I usually tend to really enjoy his films. There's so many films of his, like the Mummy movies, that I think he's awful, and I think he just can't act worth a damn in. But man, are they great movies, and man, do I love Brendan Fraser in them. It doesn't make any sense. Again, it's kind of this weird love-hate relationship that I have with him. But this was pretty damn awful. Again, it's what I was expecting. The jokes were bad. All the animals, every time they looked at each other, their eyes would bug out, and they'd make funny faces at each other. Things like that, really stupid. It's just all about a movie about kind of greed and destroying the environment, how the animals are trying to save their home, their forest, and Brendan Fraser gets caught up in the middle of everything, and they go after him, and of course in the end Brendan Fraser learns his lesson, he loves nature, and he blah blah blah, a story we've seen a million times before. But it's just the fact that it's not funny, it's not good, it's Brendan Fraser badly acting as he normally does, but only in a really bad movie. So when Brendan Fraser acts poorly in a good movie, even a mediocre movie, I usually tend to enjoy him, but when he acts his normal horrible self in a horrible movie, obviously just falls flat, becomes a horrible film. And Furry Vengeance, definitely a horrible movie. At the end of this year, I'll probably do a list of the either top 5 or top 10 worst movies I've seen this year. I guarantee you, this is gonna be on there. It was just really bad, but I think we all expected that. If you go into this movie really expecting it to be good, you're being very naive. I mean, just if you've seen the trailers for this, that should have told you enough. And that's the reason why I avoided this movie for so long, is because I saw the trailer for it originally when it was being released in theaters and thought, wow, that looks absolutely horrible. I really don't want to see that. But like I said, I came across it for $2 over the weekend. Figured I'd pick it up, and I wanted to check it out, just right away, because I wanted to see, maybe, who knows, maybe it was good, but no, it wasn't. So Furry Vengeance, don't watch it. The next title I watched this week, I can't physically hold up and show you because I saw it in the theaters, and that was Planes. Like I said, the running theme of this week seems to be mediocrity, and the movie was definitely mediocre. I liked the film. It was okay. It's a Disney film. I rarely see a Disney movie that I'd say with the exception of some like newer live action films, especially with animated stuff. I don't think I've ever seen an animated Disney movie that I didn't like. I'm just a big fan of Disney animation, so I did enjoy Planes. It was a fun movie. It's kind of like, the world of Cars, but only seen from the planes point of view. There were definitely things in that you could tell it was the same world. There were things that we saw in the Cars movies that was in Planes, and I thought that was cool. It sort of said, hey, same world but different viewpoint. We're seeing it from the plane's eyes this time. And again, it was just kind of an interesting, somewhat interesting story, just about an underdog. There's a crop duster who wants to become a racer. Everybody makes fun of him. He's a crop duster. He can't race. Guess what? He ends up winning the race at the end. I did not spoil a damn thing for you, because if you didn't already expect him to win the race at the end of this movie, I guess you've never actually seen a film before, especially a Disney film. Obviously, he was going to win the race. Come on. How would you not know that or see that coming? But again, it was just mediocre. I didn't think the movie was anything great. It wasn't, the next great Disney film. Definitely not. I thought just very, rather bland, actually. It was enjoyable. If you like animation, if you like Disney movies, it's certainly one to check out. I wouldn't say see in the theaters. I say just wait to give it a rent. But, it's definitely something I would say check out if you like Disney films. It was fun, but it's just the fact that it wasn't amazing. It was mediocre. Just a story we've seen 100 times before. And it just really didn't amount to much anything. And I gotta say, I was kind of disappointed in Disney at one point. At the end of the movie, when they're doing the race, they're showing crowd scenes. And if you watch the movie, watch the crowd scenes. There's something I noticed. And that is they reuse animation a lot. It's not like if you watch a Pixar movie, I don't know if they reuse stuff, but if you see a crowd in a Pixar movie, everybody kind of looks different. It's like they took the time to animate like 100 different or thousands of different people or something like that. I'm sure they reuse stuff, but maybe they do it in a better way that you can't really tell. In the Disney film, Planes, you're definitely going to notice that in a crowd, it's almost like they cut little sections, like square little sections out of characters and just place them all in there. Because you're going to notice Planes, kind of wobbling up and down, but you're going to see one there, all painted exactly the same, all doing the same motion. You're not supposed to be paying attention to that. You're supposed to be paying attention to kind of what's going on the racetrack. But watch the crowd. You're going to notice that. I was really disappointed. I was like, Disney, it's kind of it's a shortcut that you took to see in an older film. But, in the year 2013, it's kind of like, that seems cheap of you, Disney. It's a shortcut. I know everybody uses it. But, I expect more out of you. That's all I'm saying. I just expect more out of Disney. I expect them to, either hide it better or to actually animate 1,000 different characters, or something like that. I don't know. They at least could have hit it better, but they did not. So again, Planes, it was just mediocre. It was nothing great. It's not like Cars. In fact, I would say it probably lives up to Cars 2. If you liked Cars 2, you'll probably like Planes. I know a lot of people didn't like Cars 2, so maybe a lot of you aren't going to like Planes. But again, if you like Disney films, it's at least worth checking out. I'd say give it a watch, but wait for it to come out to Blu-ray and then check it out. There's no need to see it in the theater. The next tale I checked out was the complete first season of Joey. As you guys know, just finished up watching the complete series of Friends. Loved it. Friends was a great series. Big fan of it. So, of course, wanted to watch season 1 of Joey, since this is the only season we got here in the States. Season 2 was never released in the United States. Was released in Canada, though. So, to all my Canadian friends, if you ever come across a copy of Joey Season 2 for a decent price, pick it up for me. I definitely want to get myself a copy of Season 2. But anyway, definitely want to check out Season 1 now they just finished up Friends, and it was decent. It was, all things considered, if you're a fan of sitcoms, you're probably going to like it. I love sitcoms, so if I was a fan. It was a decent series. The only problem is, it's not going to live up to Friends. I don't know what they were really thinking with this one. And of course, I'm not expecting it to live up to Friends. I'm not going to be one of those people who compare this series to Friends. That's just stupid. Friends was, top level. Obviously, Joey, I did not expect it to even be close to that, and it really wasn't. But I guess that's kind of the problem, is the fact that, you're getting this character coming from such a great show, going into a mediocre sitcom. It kind of makes you just go, I kind of wish the character would have just died off with Friends. I don't need to see him do something mediocre. I don't need to see him go from top level to not bottom level, but top level to, medium shelf. I don't need to see him do that. I don't want to see I don't want to see Joey go down a few notches. That's not what I was wanting. But like I said, I still did enjoy it. It still was a decent sitcom. I would recommend it to anybody out there who likes sitcoms. If you're a fan of sitcoms, check out Joey. It was decent. It just, you know, of course, isn't Friends. And it wasn't anything great. It's not the best sitcom I've ever seen. I wouldn't say this is going to go down in sitcom history. No, it's definitely not. It's going to fall to the wasteland. You know, people are just going to be like, oh, there was a Joey season or series? I had no idea about that. That's pretty much how this series is going to go down, I think. But, you know, like I said, all in all, it was decent. If you're a sitcom fan, check it out. Otherwise, I guess there's really no need to see it, especially if you're a big fan of Friends. Maybe you're just a big Friends fan, but you don't like regular sitcoms, and you can probably avoid this one. It's nothing that you need to see. But all in all, it was at least decent. Then I checked out Disney 93. That's, it says right there, Magic Kingdom Club Gold Card. So I was pretty interested in checking this out when I got it. This was actually just sent to me by one of my viewers. So I was really interested in seeing what exactly this was. Was it an ad for the Gold Card? Was it a vacation video? What exactly was this? And it was a bit of both, actually. What this shows is Disney World, Disneyland, Euro Disney, and Tokyo Disneyland. They show all 4 parks on here, and basically they're showing you everything you can do in the parks, everything the parks had to offer back in 1993. But at the same time, they're showing you all the great things you can do in these parks and how much you can save with the Gold Card. So it's a little bit of both. It's kind of like a vacation DVD plus an ad for the Gold Card. Pretty cool. But what I love most about this is the fact of that it's just so incredibly dated. And usually when you say something's dated, that's usually a bad thing, but not when it comes to these vacation tapes or DVDs or anything like that. Not when it comes down to them. I love the fact that these are dated. It was great seeing all the things that were going on in 93. I remember all these things. I can't remember the first time I went to Disney. I was pretty little. I barely remember anything about it. I was that young. So it might have been around like the 93 era, actually. And there were things that I saw that I was like, I remember riding that. I remember the Sky Ride. I remember things like that. God, what else they show? They showed all kinds of things that aren't there anymore, like the Sky Ride. I remember they were showing the Can-Can dancers. I mean, they're not there anymore. Man, I really wish I could remember everything they were showing. But there were definitely things that just are not part of Disney anymore. And that was really cool to see that. Again, things I remember from when I was a little kid riding that just don't exist anymore. So that's why I love watching these. I love seeing things that once were. They talk about all the things that are like new for 93 that now are kind of like staples of Disney. Things you go, oh, that was new at one point. Well, yes, it was new. So really, really cool. I had a blast watching this, especially since I got to see a lot more of Euro Disney and Tokyo Disneyland. That was pretty cool as well. I don't know a lot about those other, the other Disney parks, only because I don't really hear much about them. But it was really cool to see them actually talk about both those parks in this 20-minute tape. That's all it is. It's only 20 minutes long, but it's still really cool. I'd say if you come across this and you're a fan of vacation guides and stuff like that, this is definitely something to pick up and check out. They don't. One of the things I like about it is the fact that they don't shove the card in your face. They're just politely kind of telling you how you can save money with the card, which I like. It's not overbearing. You can watch it without going, oh my god, shut up about the card. You're not going to think that at all. They only actually mention it every so often. So, again, really, really cool. Oh, Pleasure Island. There you go. That's something they showed in here. Oh god, why am I drawing a blank now? Not Blizzard Beach, not Typhoon Lagoon. River Country. River Country they show in here. Which doesn't exist anymore. So just, again, a lot of cool stuff like that just don't exist. They're really hyping all this stuff up that is no longer in Disney. Again, I'm drawing a blank now. The bird sanctuary that was in the middle of the lake, which, wow, I'm kicking myself that I can't think of the name of it. I know the name of it, but I can't think of it. That's stupid. I'm going to put the name of it right here because I'm an idiot and can't think of the name of it. But they show that. It's really, really cool. So again, if you're a fan of Disney World, or I guess even Disneyland, or Euro Disney, or Tokyo Disney, this is something to pick up if you come across it. Really, really cool. I enjoyed the hell out of this. And then the last title I checked out is another title that just recently got sent to me by the same viewer who sent me the Disney 93 tape, and that was The Walt Disney Story. Definitely interested in seeing what this was all about as well, as I do have the documentary on DVD called Walt, which is a really, really, really good documentary on Walt Disney. I'd highly recommend picking that up and checking it out if you can get your hands on it. So I was curious to see what exactly this was. And what it is obviously somebody interviewed Walt Disney, and it's just the interview. It goes through the whole entire interview with Walt Disney, and while he's being interviewed and while he's talking, they're showing videos and photos and all kinds of stuff like that. So it was definitely interesting. This is also, I believe it's only 22 minutes long, so not a very long documentary. It goes through his life from the very beginnings of his career all the way up into when he died while working on Walt Disney World, but it goes by very fast. I mean, the obviously it's only 22 minutes long. It just zooms right by. It's a very brief sort of history of Walt Disney's life. So if you're a big fan of Walt Disney, I'd say it's worth picking up if you're a collector of Disney merchandise and, you know, Disney films and stuff like that. Sure, this is definitely something worth adding to your collection. But if you're not some, you know, Disney nut, you don't need to have every single Disney release out there like I do, then this isn't anything you really need. I'd say if you're looking to get just one great Walt Disney documentary, get the documentary Walt. It's fantastic. It's amazing. You'll absolutely love it. But again, if you're a fan of Disney, this is worth picking up because it was still pretty cool. So there you go, guys. It's everything I checked out this week. Definitely watched some mediocre titles. The Disney stuff was definitely the coolest stuff I watched, although, I mean, we're talking a 22-minute documentary on Walt Disney that just kind of flies by. Very cool. Love Disney. Love Walt Disney. But all in all, it was just a mediocre documentary. And even the Disney 93 tape, although it was cool, you know, it did kind of also fly right by. It was only 20 minutes long, and it is sort of an ad for the card. So it wasn't the best vacation guide, but still, it was really cool to check it out and see what was going on in 1993. Still pretty awesome. But all in all, just a very sort of mediocre week. Didn't watch anything overly amazing, but that's just the way it goes. So that's it, guys. Again, if you like this video, please give me a like. If you're not already subbed, please do. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my next video. See ya. Again, maybe I am a little bit comparing it to Friends. I kind of saw Friends in the back of my head, I guess, while watching this. But, you know, and fuck. And it's actually a little bit of both. It's a vacation DVD, or